Let me say something that might offend a few recruiters. If you're struggling to grow your recruiting agency right now, it's probably not your sales skills. It's probably not your outreach, and it's definitely not your work ethic. It's your niche. And the worst part, most recruiters stay stuck in the wrong niche for years because they don't realize it's the market itself that is the problem. Today, I'm gonna show you how you can know if your existing recruiting niche is actually killing your recruiting agency. And most importantly, how to choose the right one that's gonna yield you placement fees along the lines of $15,000, $25,000, and even $40,000 plus per placement. You know the feeling I'm talking about if you're a recruiter. Every call feels like you're pushing a boulder uphill. Hiring managers constantly tell you, yeah, go ahead and send me some candidates and we'll see. Or something like, yeah, we already have 5 agencies working on it. Or worse, we only work on contingency. You send resumes, they ghost you, you finally place someone, and the fee is only $8,000. Meanwhile, you're thinking, why does this feel so hard? The reason is simple. The niche determines the ceiling of your recruiting agency. I've worked with thousands of recruiters since starting Recruiting Me back in 2019, and I see the same pattern over and over. When somebody pivots into the proper niche, 3 things happen almost immediately. Number 1, calls feel easier. Number 2, clients respect your expertise. And number 3, your fees jump dramatically. Let me go ahead and walk you through the framework that we use. Let me show you something. I actually put together a quick presentation that will break this all down for you. I'm gonna show you exactly how to stress test any recruiting niche. All right, so your recruiting niche really is killing your recruiting agency. I know this might sound dramatic, but it's true. Your niche determines how easy sales are gonna be, how big your fees are, whether or not you can get retainers, ultimately how scalable your agency can become. So look at this. When you're in the wrong niche, sales can feel impossible. Clients are extremely price sensitive, deals typically stay small, and retainers basically do not exist. But in the right niche, authority will build naturally. Client pain is obvious, fees will increase, and closing feels much easier. The difference is not your talent, it's market structure. So this slide right here is what most recruiters don't even realize. The wrong niche doesn't just slow you down, it costs you. It will cost you 6 to 12 months of momentum, potentially hundreds of thousands in lost revenue. And the biggest cost? Confidence. Because you start thinking to yourself, I don't know, maybe recruiting really doesn't work anymore. But the truth is you just picked the wrong battlefield. So let's review mistake number 1. Recruiters really do pick their niche based on their background. I see that all the time. Like for example, I work in healthcare, or I used to work in healthcare, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick the healthcare niche. But familiarity has nothing to do with profitability. Instead, you should ask yourself, is there urgency in this industry? Are the fees large? Is the talent scarce? Or am I able to target and identify my clients using LinkedIn? Mistake number 2 is what I call the sexy niche trap. So these are niches that all sound really impressive, right? Tech, marketing, general healthcare, even accounting and finance. But the problem is every recruiter will pick these. So when 10,000 recruiters are chasing the same roles, the only way to compete is with price. And that leads to the race of 18% contingency fees. Mistake number 3, I think, is the biggest mistake. Recruiters will always tend to chase the easy to fill roles. But easy roles are really cheap because the best niches are actually painful. Pain creates urgency, urgency creates retainers, and retainers will create predictable revenue month over month. So this slide right here really is the mindset shift. Most recruiters ask, what industries do I like? But that question optimizes for comfort. Instead, you should ask, where is hiring causing financial bleeding? This is where agencies really win. So here's the framework that we teach inside Recruiting Me. We call it the P.A.I.N filter. And every niche should pass these 4 tests. So the first test is what I call placement value. Can you earn $15,000 to $30,000 per placement per deal? And if the average salary within your niche is too low, then your fees are going to be low. One placement should really change your month. And as you see on this slide, let's say you're making placements for like $8,000 a pop, then it becomes a volume issue for you. And then you're going to feel the burn, the churn, backouts, the headaches of recruiting. I mean, I used to work in high volume recruiting, and really it's not the best lifestyle to have. I'd much rather make higher placement fees and fewer placements year over year and still, clear over $500,000 a year as a solopreneur. And I'll share a quick story with you. Back in 2022, I did my first performance-based search, my first retained search, used a front-end sales funnel with cold email, ended up getting a bite from a new company that was in Virginia. The head of HR reached out to me, replied to my cold email that we used, ended up working on a CFO role for them that was brand new, and made a $100,000 fee with one placement. Can you imagine if you made 1 or 2 placements every month at $100,000? How would that change your life right now? The second filter is what we call authority access. Who are you really talking to? If you're stuck in HR, then your deals are going to move extremely slow. But if you're talking directly to CEOs, founders, owners, VP, EVP level and above, then you're talking to the right people who actually feel the pain day in and day out. Personally, I've never been a fan of working directly with HR. I've always been respectable to HR and followed their process, but your champions are going to be the line managers. Again, VP level and above. That's who you should be contacting. That's who you should be trusting. And those are the titles of people you should be building relationships with. The third filter is industry growth. So you want markets that are growing, regulated, and talent constrained, because growth will create structural high demand. I mean, basically you want the market pushing clients to you, actually raising their hand, wanting to meet with you, and they have a real sense of urgency and pain point that they must fix yesterday. And the final filter is niche depth. And this is really where most recruiters mess up. Don't say I recruit health, rather say I recruit behavioral health clinics doing between 5 to 25 million a year in revenue. This specifically creates authority. So if you've been stuck for the past 6 to 12 months, grinding will not fix this. Sometimes the smartest move that you can make is pivoting to a different niche. So number 1, diagnose honesty. Ask yourself, is this really a niche that is going to produce for me? You should always be narrowing your niche aggressively. Use sub-niches within your niche. That's where the money is. And I will tell you, I'm not a believer in going into different niches when you first start your recruiting agency. You want to be very targeted, have strong brand authority, pick one niche. Don't make it confusing for your avatar, your ideal client to understand exactly what you do, especially when they land on your LinkedIn page. It should be very clear what your headline is within your headline, that you service this niche and you can solve this pain point. So before committing to a niche, ask yourself these 3 questions. Are clients urgently hiring? Are fees going to yield me $15,000 or more per placement? And can I dominate this space in 12 months? If 2 of those are no, it's the wrong niche. You'll know you're in the right niche when things start shifting. Calls will start feeling easier. Clients respect your expertise. Referrals will start increasing. And retainers really will become normal. So if you want my niche validation checklist, just comment the word niche below. Also, go ahead and drop your existing niche in the comments and I'll tell you if it's good or bad. All right, guys, I hope you got a ton of value from this video. Remember, just go ahead and comment niche below for the validation checklist and put your niche in the comments. I'll let you know if it's strong, if it's weak, and maybe it's time for you to pivot.